Hello everyone and welcome to the recap of round 7 in Chennai Masters. Vincent Keimer has a 1.5 point lead in the Masters section. All he needs is a draw tomorrow and he's going to be the champion of the Masters section. In the Challenger section, Leon Mendonça and Pranesh M have a 0.5 point lead. They are 5.5 points. Let's take a look at the opening recap today, and we are going to take a look between Arjun playing against Anish Giri. Arjun played d4, d5, c4, and Anish captured on c4, Queen's Gambit accepted, knight f3, knight f6, e3, attacking the pawn, black just goes e6, bishop takes c4, and c5. The point is that if white takes on c5, black will take the queen, king takes, bishop takes c5, and it's a very equal endgame. So white castles, a6, and because black is preparing this move b5, white makes a prophylactic move bishop to e2. And the reason why this game is very intriguing is because Praggnanandhaa had played the same opening against Anish Giri, and Arjun tried to test Anish again in the same opening. Let's see how Anish Giri had prepared this opening very well. He played knight d7, Arjun played knight d2, and Anish made this move pawn to b6. Knight c4, and he now plays this move pawn to b5. Already you see he was waiting for the knight on d2 to come to c4, and only then he played b5, because in this position, if Anish immediately starts with b5, there is pawn to a4, and after b4, knight c4, and the knight is very well placed here. So small nuance there, starting with b6, knight c4, and now Anish plays b5, knight to e5, bishop b7 played by Anish, stopping the white knight from jumping to c6, a4, attacking the pawn on b5, very logical play because you want to put pressure on the black pieces before the king on e8 is castled. b4, and now the queen on d1 wants a better square. And the best square could perhaps be the square on a4, and that's why white plays this move pawn to a5, preparing this move queen to a4 at some point. Anish plays bishop d6, and this already is not an easy move to make if you didn't know it, because it feels as if you're getting attacked by this move knight to c4. But Anish knew all of this. He's like, I've prepared all of this, it's all zeros. He went back bishop to e7, d takes c5, and he actually castled. And it feels like, what? How is it possible for black to just give up a pawn and then castle? It feels like knight d6 is coming, knight b6 is coming. Feels like white is much better, but Anish had it all prepped. I have a feeling that after knight d6, he probably just wanted to go bishop to c6 and capture the pawn on c5 next. Maybe even bishop d5 was possible. That's why Arjun tried this move knight b6. Anish again had everything prepped, rook b8, and then they chopped off the knights. Hopefully you understood what I did there. Knight takes, pawn to c6 was tried by Arjun, takes, and he took the pawn on a6. Again, to the naked eye, it feels as if white is a pawn up. But then again, there is this one forcing move in the position, rook to a8, hitting the bishop on a6, and as soon as the bishop comes back, black captures the pawn on a5, and Anish Giri was able to equalize this position really well against Arjun Erigaisi with the black pieces. Super nice opening by him, showing some high level prep, and this is why this was the opening recap. Let's go to the middle game today, because we are going to take a look between the game of Vincent Keimer, who was playing with the white pieces against Liang Awander. Awander was really heating up in this event, and this match was very crucial for the tournament standings, because if Liang won, he would actually join Vincent Keimer in the leaderboard. In this position, Vincent played this move rook to c1. In this position, Liang was playing with the white pieces. He just played this move rook to c1, and black played this move pawn to f5. And it was vital for white to capture the pawn on f5, bishop takes f5, and try to go for this control of the e4 square. Yes, white does not have the light squared bishop, but on the other hand, the e4 square is weak. And if white plays something like knight to e4, this pawn to f3, it feels like white has very good control of the light squares. This was a must for Liang to play in this position, but he played this move queen to b3. And after the game, Vincent said that I could not believe that my opponent allowed me to go pawn to f4, because after bishop t2, he even got to play pawn to b5. Very energetic move played here by Vincent Keimer, because if you chop the pawn on b5, there is rook b8, pinning this knight on b5 to the queen. If you go pawn to a4, of course you know what to do, pin and win. Just go pawn to a6, just doubling down the pressure on the knight on b5, and black is just winning a piece here. And that's why after this move pawn to b5 played by Vincent, he had a big advantage. He went on to win this game with the black pieces against Liang Awonder, and now Vincent is just a clear favorite. He's having a 1.5 point lead in the tournament, and I think Vincent Keimer is going to be the champion of the Chennai Grandmasters. 2 more rounds to go, but that's my feeling. Let's now move on to the end game played in the challengers. This was actually also played in the masters section. It was Pranav V who was defending this endgame against Jordan Van Forest. Pranav was playing here in this position with the black pieces. He just played this move queen to d5 check. White was completely winning in this whole endgame. It's a queen endgame with a pawn up for white, but this king on h6 is very close to being checkmated. In this position, Jordan thought that he could just play this move queen to f7, because after queen takes f7, king takes f7, as we all know, all king pawn endgames are very easy to win when you're up material. This was obviously winning for white. The move that he missed in this position, can you guys find it? The move is queen to c4, and this position is a reciprocal zugzwang, which means the side who has to make the move is going to lose. Is going to hurt itself. For example, if this position was black to play, black has no good move, because if you go queen c8 check, queen f8 is a counter check and white is winning. And of course, if black takes the pawn on b4, this is going to be a checkmate. But it's white to play, and it actually hurts you that it's your move, because now you cannot of course move your king to h8 because you're losing a queen. If you go to f8, you're losing the pawn on b4 with a check, and that's why he took the queen on c4, b takes c4, b5, c3, b6, c2, b7, queen, queen. And now after queen c4 check, the white king could not escape the draws, and Pranav V defended this endgame really well. He was completely lost, and I'll just quickly also show you how white could have won this endgame, because this was the position when he gave queen c4 check, and all Jordan had to do was to play this move king to f8. He should have moved his king to f8, maneuvered his king on d8 maybe, and always threatened this queen g7 mate. This was a completely winning queen pawn endgame. Very nice save here by Pranav V, and this was the recap of today in Chennai Grandmasters. 2 more rounds to go. Let's see you all tomorrow.